and I just think it's really just a good fit to have here. I really don't think it will have any adverse effects on traffic and public health and safety. In fact, I think it would be a benefit to the public. And quite frankly, when this came to my attention, I was surprised to find that this use was not permitted in this zone. So I would just urge the commission, if they see fit, to allow this permitted use in this zone. And I thank you all for your time. Thank you.
Any questions of Attorney Michael? Anyone else wish to speak in favor of this petition? Anyone else wish to speak in favor of this petition? Anyone else wish to speak in favor of this petition? Anyone wish to speak against this petition? Anyone wish to speak against this petition? Anyone else wish to speak against this petition? Any input from the planning department?
I had no objection to Attorney General's comments. Attorney Gonzalez's comments before he waterboarded me. David's comments. It's been a long day. Regarding West Street. He had called me about a month or so ago and was a bit perturbed to discover that medical officers had been deleted from the CL10 zoning district. And so I suggested, well, perhaps you could come in for an amendment if you put on a limit on the size of these buildings, because large medical offices are generate a considerable amount of traffic, and that's one of our chief concerns. To which he said, "You mean something like 2,500 square feet?" I said, "Yeah, something like that." And so he's come back with 3,000. And as you know from our report, we have no objection to that. I do want to comment, though, on the broadside against the amendments that this commission made to the CL10 zoning district. CL10 zoning district is a light commercial district. Now, light commercial district, which is something we really don't have, affords this commission a fair degree of latitude and flexibility in zoning land which may be appropriate for commercial development, but which, because of its location, may, if not strictly regulated, contribute to increased traffic problems on roads that we know are already overburdened. Transportation and traffic issues are among the highest concerns among people of Danbury, and we don't want to contribute to that. And that is one reason why we made the changes that we did in all of our zones last year. So a light commercial district gives you that added flexibility, but we didn't have that. Instead, we had a zone for which the Berkshire Shopping Center was zoned CL10. Not exactly a light commercial use, correct? The shopping center. Everything in there was conforming. McDonald's, the large, Walmart, all of those stores, all conforming. What I would rather do is treat these issues one by one, as you are tonight, rather than continue to allow sort of a blanket ability for this kind of uncontrolled development to continue to take place in Danbury. Uncontrolled development is a growing issue, and as we have discussed in the past, what we're trying to do is to deal with this in a measured fashion, and I think that's what we're doing here. So, something like this we can certainly deal with, but to simply close our eyes and go back to the past, where and use the old language, the old purpose statement, to allow for the growth of commercial services that may not be appropriate in a CBD, but is appropriate on small lots along the major approaches to the CBD. Well, there are only half a dozen of these small CBD or CL10 zones. This is not this is thoroughfare zoning that we're talking about. That's more like CG20. We have a number of residential zones, multifamily residential zones, and other things, which have come about over the years. But it was not, this suggests something which simply hasn't played out historically in Danbury. So that's what we're trying to do. Now, if somebody wants to come in and say that the Marriott Hotel is out on Eagle Road, which is zone CL10, is not appropriately zoned now because it's non-conforming, fine. I would love that for them to come in like the Hawleys came in on Berkshire and say rezone it CG20. Then you get to decide what kind of intensity of zoning you want. Otherwise, I think you're going to continue to be surprised that some of the things are going to pop up in places where you simply don't think they're appropriate. That was the nature of our amendments. That's why we did them. As I mentioned before, we have no objection to the petition before you tonight, and I just wish, I hope that we wouldn't have gone through this critique of the changes this commission made last year.
Any questions of Planning Director Alpern? Commissioner Johnston?
I mean, more of a comment, which is what I was trying to bring up before about the 22 permitted uses on that, and that's where I want to agree with Dennis that I think that there's open opportunity here, and then if there's individual change, as Attorney Jaber brought up over and over, if you want to, move within what we have now, I think that that's a more appropriate rather than to say we should change everything back to this wide open status. And I just wanted to reiterate that I thought that Dennis put it very well there, that, we need to have some of the stuff looked at on an individual basis when it comes up, as opposed to just opening things back up. We sort of went through a period of tightening things, and I think that works out to the betterment. Probably works out better for you, Mr. J. You get a lot more work out of it, right? So we hope to see you again. So I just wanted to comment that I thought that was my comment earlier, and I think that I like to agree with Dennis on it. Thanks.
Any other questions or statements? Commissioner Wetmore?
Dennis, when these deletions were made for this particular use, was one of the concerns because of the location of these zones happen to be on roads that do have fairly heavy traffic consistently, and dealing with the nature of these buildings that generate traffic consistently despite their arguably minor amount of traffic individually. Was that a concern when you made that deletion last year?
Yes, and we were also concerned for future use of this zoning district. There may be in the future other places that you think would be appropriately zoned for a limited amount of commercial development, which does not result in an excessive amount of traffic. We want you to be able to have that in your toolkit. You don't write, you didn't before, you have it now.
Any other questions? Okay. We have a motion to close this public hearing. Commissioner Jowdy. Second, Commissioner Manasek. Okay, any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I want to move this to old business.
Chairman, I propose we move it to number 3 under old business.
Okay,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Johnston. Motion was put forth by Commissioner DiCaprio to move this under number 3 under old business. Okay. we have any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Okay, we have, let's see, nothing under continuation of public hearing. We have, under old business, item number 1, we have a petition of the City of Danbury by Dennis I. Alpern, Planning Director, for the change of zone from IL 40 to RMF 4 for 28 to 40 Maple Avenue, lot number I-13023. Okay. Yes, Commissioner Johnston.
I'd like to make a motion to accept change of zone from IL 40 to RMF 4 because it has received positive recommendation from the Planning Commission. Will conform with the wishes of the people of Danbury.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay. We'll go ahead and do a roll. Okay, an aye vote will vote in favor of this petition. A nay vote will vote against this petition. Commissioner Johnston,
Yes.
Commissioner Malillo,
Yes.
Commissioner DiCaprio,
Yes.
Commissioner Haddad,
Yes.
Commissioner Jowdy. Yes. Commissioner Manasek. Yes. Commissioner Stramiello.
Yes.
Commissioner Wetmore.
Yes.
And I, Commissioner Farah, also will vote yes. It passes unanimously 9-0. Okay, second on the old business for consideration of possible action. Petition of the City of Danbury by Dennis I. Alpern to amend Section 10B2 of the zoning regulations, amend the fee schedule. We have anyone wish to put forth a motion to approve or deny?
Chairman,
Commissioner DiCaprio?
I motion that we approve the petition as amended, as written.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Commissioner Malillo seconds. Any discussion? Okay, call a roll vote on this. An aye vote approves, a nay vote denies. Commissioner DiCaprio?
Yes.
Commissioner Malillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Haddad? Commissioner Johnston?
Yes.
Commissioner Jowdy?
Yes.
Commissioner Manasek? Commissioner Stramiello?
Yes.
Commissioner Wetmore?
Yes.
And I too, Commissioner Farrell, will vote yes. Okay. Number 3, under old business for consideration of possible action, petition of the Murad Realty Company, Carol and J. and John T. Benusis, DMD, and GRM Rentals, LLC, to amend Section 5D2A and 5D4 of the zoning regulations, add medical offices less than 3,000 square feet to the CL10 zone. We have a motion to approve or deny. Commissioner Malillo?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve this petition in that it will not generate significant amounts of traffic due to the limitations on square footage. This use is consistent with the existing layout of the zone, as these uses have historically been allowed in this zone before. This is consistent with the plan of conservation and development, and it received a positive recommendation of the Planning Commission. And I'd also like to just amend that to, or add that it's approved with the recommendations from the Planning Department.
Do we have a second? Commissioner Johnston?
I'll second, yes.
Any discussion? Okay, call a roll vote. Aye vote approves, nay vote denies. Commissioner Malillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnston?
Yes.
Commissioner DiCaprio?
Yes.
Commissioner Haddad? Commissioner Jowdy?
Yes.
Commissioner Manasek? Commissioner Stramiello?
Yes.
Commissioner Wetmore?
Yes.
And I, too, will vote yes. Commissioner Farah. Okay, that 9-0 unanimous pass. Okay. We have new business. Petition of City of Danbury by Dennis I. Alpern to amend sections 2B, 3H, 3J, and 10F of the zoning regulations, amend definitions, lot requirements, maximum height requirements, and certificate of zoning compliance. Public hearing is scheduled for April 22nd, 2008. Number 2, petition of the City of Danbury by Dennis I. Alpern to amend sections 3E9, 10A, 10A1, 11C of the zoning regulations, amend auto service stations and garages, general provisions for zoning commission and planning commission, motor vehicle-related businesses. Public hearing is also scheduled for April 22nd, 2008.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Commissioner Melillo.
I'd like to make a motion to refer these to the Planning Commission.
Okay, we have refer these two items to the Planning Commission. We have a second. Commissioner Johnston seconds. Any discussion? Okay, those who are in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that passes. Okay, we have nothing in correspondence, nothing in other matters. We have for reference only, number 1, petition of Michael J. Hallis, DBA, to amend 4A, section 4A5F9 of the zoning regulations, which is clarify farming operations permitted in the RA zones. Public hearing is scheduled for April 8th, 2008. Number 2, petition of Sheridan Commons LLC, 12 Home Place, portion of lot number J14161, for a change of zone from R3 to RMF4. Zoning Commission public hearing scheduled for the 22nd of April 2008. Okay, nothing further. Just one final comment before we entertain a motion to adjourn. Just as per conversation earlier today, the intention of DTV is to continue to televise live all the zoning commission meetings. So you can dress appropriately, yes, or dress any way you would like. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay. Wetmore, second by Commissioner Stramiello.